Hi, welcome to Polyphonic Press. I'm Jeremy Boyd, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new album by Bugg entitled Shangri. Here we go. So Bugg is a British singer-songwriter born in Nottingham in 1994. In 2011, at the age of 17, he was chosen by BBC to play at the Glastonbury Festival, and as a result was signed to Mercury Records and released his self-titled debut album in 2012. And this is a follow-up to that album, and it's called Shangri. This album starts off with the song There, which has a kind of a folky, kind of country vibe going on with it. With his voice and the choice of instruments and the overall feel of the song, it really sounds like something from Bob Dylan, possibly from the album Bringing It All Back Home. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think he's really trying to copy Bob Dylan, and rather pay homage to him. I think this track opens up the album really well, and because it doesn't really hit you over the head, but doesn't really start very slow either. It just kind of sets the album up without being too aggressive or too subtle. The first single from the album, Slumville Sunrise, is much more of a rock-driven song, although it does have some elements of punk rock and alt country thrown in there as well. It's got a very fast-paced, driving rhythm with the drums, but it also has twangy guitars and really kind of gets into that country mood a little bit. I really like the guitars on this track because they're playing very fast and very precise, and it's really a good display of musicians playing really well. I think this is a pretty good choice for a single because it gives you a really good glimpse into the rest of the record, and it's pretty consistent with Bugg's personality. The song Messed Up Kids is very much a country-inspired song. It starts off with his mandolin kind of playing these chords. It has a very upbeat rhythm to it, but the lyrics are very dark and somewhat different from a typical country song. The song is kind of about runaway teenagers and living on the streets and how hard that can be, so he's kind of using counterpoint to convey the message of the song. The lyrics are dark, but the music is very upbeat and uses a lot of major chords, so I thought it was really interesting the way they kind of chose to do that. The two kind of work together to just kind of move the song along. The song All Your Reasons is a slow kind of rock song that really reminded me of mid-90s roots rock. It has the same kind of chord structure and atmosphere that you would hear on like a Wallflowers record or Sheryl Crow or something like that. One thing I really did like about this song is that it went on a little longer than most of the songs on this record. A lot of the time songs can drag on and it gets really repetitive and boring, but if you can pull it off and if the song really calls for it, I think it can be a really great thing. And I think it's something they really managed to pull off really well here. The song Kingpin is much more of a bluesy inspired rock song. It's got really inspired guitar parts and sort of a shuffling rhythm, really kind of reminded me of Stevie Ray Vaughan or something like that. This song is a bit of a left turn from the rest of the record, but it's not totally unexpected. It really kind of gives you a break from the lyrical heaviness of the rest of the record. It's just a great short punchy rock song that's a fun listen and it really works to move the rest of the record along. And the album ends with the song Storm Passes Away, which is a slow kind of ballad song, although it does have a lot of instruments in there. It's done in the style of another kind of Bob Dylan sort of country folk song. I think it ends the album really well, and it kind of serves to bookend the album with the opening track kind of being a little bit of a Bob Dylan song, and this kind of ending the album kind of works to bring it full circle. This is a pretty easily relatable song. It's about being in love with someone and they're not returning the love. At least that's what I took away from it. It's something that's pretty easy to relate to, and I think it's something that's a reoccurring theme in a lot of songs, but it doesn't feel like he's forcing the feelings. It feels like he's really coming from an honest place with this song. The production on this album is pretty straightforward. It's pretty typical of what you would expect from Rubin. It's pretty stripped down to the bare essentials. It doesn't have a lot of overdubs or anything like that. For the style of the songs and the atmosphere of this whole album and the way the songs are structured, the production style really calls for it. I don't really see how anything added could really benefit this album. I think the songs just need to breathe on their own. I like this album. I thought the songs were really well written. There were a couple weak spots that really aren't worth mentioning, but really other than that, it's a pretty strong effort. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So anyway, that's what I thought about the album. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you'd like to suggest an album for me to review, please leave that in the comments as well. Be sure to subscribe so you know when I post a new video, and you can check us out on Twitter and Facebook as well. That's about it. See you next time.